Milling Through History presents Butch Cassidy. When we think of Butch Cassidy, almost immediately the first thing that comes to mind is "and the Sundance Kid." However, there is a bit more to this outlaw than meets the eye, and as such, it's important that we understand that Butch Cassidy isn't just simply associated with another person, but is a unique outlaw unto himself. Born April 13, 1866, his real name was Robert Leroy Parker. He would earn the nickname Butcher, which would eventually evolve itself into Butch. And the name Cassidy comes from one individual by the name of Mike Cassidy, who was a mentor to the famed outlaw and teaching him how to be a horse and cattle thief. By adding on the surname of Cassidy from his mentor, this would allow the outlaw to go ahead and create a new alias for himself, namely Butch Cassidy. His first major crime was with the robbing of the San Miguel Valley Bank, and by 1890, he was enough of an outlaw that Cassidy decided he needed to have a way to try and create alibis for himself. And so he would purchase a ranch near the Hole-in-the-Wall Rock Formation, which was a famous hideout for outlaws. And some people believe that this location of the ranch was done specifically so that Cassidy had cover for all of his schemes. Many people have noted that Butch Cassidy as a rancher was a complete failure, where he was a success at being an outlaw. Now, Cassidy would form a gang with other outlaws, and they soon became referred to as the Wild Bunch. As such, they would go ahead and rob both banks and trains and make themselves rather notable for at least the span of 10 years. In 1899, the gang would rob the Union Pacific Overland Fire train, which led to a massive manhunt. Now, Cassidy attempted to get a pardon after this, but just as quickly lost any hope for one, as he and the gang would rob the Union Pacific train number 3, even after having promised that the gang was no longer going to be involved with thefts. As a result of this, the hunt was back on for the gang, and Cassidy, along with the other members of the Wild Bunch, started to go off in separate directions. Both Cassidy, along with the Sundance Kid, would flee the United States and go to Argentina, and upon reaching South America, even though they attempted to start a whole new life, old habits seemed to die very hard. It soon became known that there were at least 2 Americans who were running around South America robbing trains, and in 1908, both Cassidy and the Sundance Kid are believed to have robbed a courier with the payroll from the Aramayo mine. With the authorities tipped off, the bandits were surrounded in their hideout, and a shootout would occur, and 2 perpetrators were found dead in the house. The 2 perpetrators are believed to be Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. However, no evidence exists to prove it was them, and like many other famous outlaws who were killed in shootouts and their bodies are claimed to have been identified, rumors of their survival had gone ahead and persisted well into the 1920s and 30s, saying that they were alive and well and had returned to the United States, looking somewhat different since most people believed they were dead, and therefore living an honest life. Now be sure to click like, share, and subscribe for future episodes of Milling Through History, and leave comments below for future episode ideas. And be sure to take a look at our suggested reading page.